Hello, eighth grade families. My name is Mike Rushatar. I'm the freshman counselor at Prairie Point. I had a request to put together a screencast for any parents who were not able to attend our eighth grade parents' night. Um, so, this screencast is for those of you who could not make it, and I hope to share some good information here for you that will help answer some questions about your child's freshman year. If you do have questions at the conclusion of this screencast, my email address is at the end. You can also give me a call at 319-848-5510. So a common question that I get from eighth grade parents is, how does the freshman year compare to eighth grade? Um, and we would certainly say that the courses that students will take in the ninth grade academy are going to be more rigorous. They should be. We would expect this to be the case. Students will often discover that things are much tougher in ninth grade than they were in eighth grade. Expectations for the quantity and the quality of their work is going to increase significantly. There's a lot more multitasking that goes on between classes and expectations. Students are asked to advocate for their own learning. We want them to ask questions of teachers. We want them to start to do some things on their own and show some independence. So we do ask for them to start showing some of those advocation skills that are going to be necessary as they move forward in their education careers. A big change for students coming into ninth grade is that they now will have traditional letter grades. To this point, these students have not experienced having A, B, C, D grades, but they will have those at the conclusion of the semesters in ninth grade. Students are also earning credits towards graduation, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Transcripts, they're developing their first academic records, so the grades that they get their freshman year will go on that academic transcript that they'll take with them to college. And a big one too is we do expect that our students will show some increased maturity as they move from eighth grade to ninth grade. Some key vocabulary terms that I want to talk about. A semester is 18 weeks of instruction, or one half of the year. Right now, eighth graders are on quarters. When they move to the ninth grade, they'll be on semesters, so that aligns with the high school. So grades for the 9-12 students are assigned at the end of each semester. We do typically assign a quarter letter grade, which is sort of like a midterm grade. That doesn't go on any academic record. It's just for kind of an update. But the semester grades that we assign in January and then again in June are the ones that are then put on transcripts. Some of our courses do last one semester, but many of them are 2-semester courses. Credits are a way of keeping track of the number of courses you've successfully completed. You have to get a D- or better to earn the credit for the semester. Each semester's course is worth 0.5 credits. And to graduate, you've got to have at least 24 credits. Other key vocabulary terms: a required course are courses that students must pass in order to graduate from Prairie. The ones at Point that meet that criteria: English 9, Biology, Earth Science, the full year of math, and then a health and fitness course. A prerequisite is a course that you must pass before you are allowed to enroll in a future course. The only one that we have at Prairie Point is Intro to Engineering. You must take that if you're going to take Principles of Engineering at the high school. So graduation requirements for Cedar Rapids Prairie. English, you must have 4 credits, 4 full years. Science and math and social studies, you have 3 credits each, so 3 full years. PE, 2 credits, excluding health, which is taught at Prairie Point. And then a vocational elective, 0.5 credits. That's 1 class in the categories of facts, business, industrial tech, or engineering. Many of our students will meet that graduation requirement at Prairie Point. Other electives, 8.5 credits worth, and then a senior presentation. We also require students to do CPR, and that is done at Prairie Point, typically in the spring semester. So required courses at Point: English, everybody's going to enroll in English 9. It's a full year course, so it's 2 semesters. Everybody's going to have to take math. It's a full year, and we just follow that math progression. So right now, if you are in 8th grade math, you're going to go to algebra for freshmen. If you are currently in 8th grade algebra, you will go to geometry as a freshman. Science, all students will have 1 semester of biology and 1 semester of earth science. Everybody will also take a course called Topics and Social Issues. All students will enroll. It is 1 semester. And then new for this year, we're going to split health and fitness. So currently all the freshmen will take a course called health and fitness, and that is all year long. So some days they have health, some days they have fitness. For next year, we're going to split that so students will have health. So it'll be its own separate class where every day you're going to go to the health classroom, and then you will also have students who will take a full semester of fitness, which is going to be everyday PE. The elective courses we offer here at Prairie Point, you can see on the screen here. Most of these, as you can see, are only one semester courses. They are not always offered each semester. It just depends on how things work out. Spanish and German are full year courses, and Intro to Engineering is a full year course, as is choir and band. So as I said, most but not all one semester courses are offered each semester. We do recommend that you pick electives that you might find interesting or fun, but also remember to think about a study hall. We do have a lot of kids who want to pack in a lot of classes, and so we caution them that a study hall for most of our students is pretty important. All of these subjects are taught at the high school, so if you can't fit everything in as a freshman, you can certainly pick up the courses that you want later on as a sophomore, junior, or senior. So I do want to specifically talk about two courses, our foreign language courses and our engineering design course. We have a lot of students who enroll in Intro to Engineering Design. It is a collegiate level course. It is very, very rigorous. There is a tremendous amount of homework that needs to be done. It does start your college transcript. It is aligned with Kirkwood College. We encourage students to challenge themselves in a course like Intro to Engineering Design, but we also want you to know what you're signing up for. Typically every year I end up with a large number of kids who end up dropping mid-semester or at the semester because they can't keep up with the workload. Expect to have nightly homework, half hour to an hour devoted to this course. It is very rigorous, and you just need to be prepared for it before you enter into the course. So we just want you to know what you're signing up for. Spanish and German, I want to remind parents and students that this is not required to graduate from Prairie. You do not have to take a foreign language to graduate from our school. You do not have to have it to get into Kirkwood, to Cornell, Wartburg, Mount Mercy, Luther. Any of the small private colleges in Iowa do not have a foreign language requirement. The only reason that you have to take Spanish or German is to get into Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI. That's it. So if you want to go to one of those three schools, you're going to have at least 2 years to get in. And to graduate from Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI, you would have to have 3 to 4 years of a single foreign language. So we would say to students, if you think that you're going to graduate from Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI, you need to do at least 3 or 4 years of a single foreign language. That's 3 to 4 years of Spanish or 3 to 4 years of German. If you don't see yourself graduating from one of those three institutions, then the foreign language thing isn't really a requirement, and you can move on from that. So we do want you to take as much foreign language as possible if you are thinking that you're going to go down to that 4-year college track, specifically at Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI. So how do you get the courses at Point that you want to take? The best advice we can give you is to take time to read through the course descriptions in the handbook or online. Be very thoughtful as you complete your registration worksheet, and I would tell you that the best chance that you have to get what you want is to register for what you want right now. The reason that's true is because we build sections based on the number of kids who want a certain course. So for instance, this year we did have a lot of students who did not register for some art classes, and then second semester we've had a lot of students who wanted to take those, and we had to close them because there just wasn't enough room. So we would have certainly built more sections if we knew that so many kids wanted to be in those specific art classes. So really, your best chance is to get what you want is to make sure you register for it now. If you change your mind later, and you can do that, we do have a drop ad period in January at the end of first semester. We do have one at the very beginning of the year in August. So if you change your mind, you still probably will be able to get what you want, but I won't guarantee that you'll get what you want. And as was the case this year, we ended up having to close lots of electives, and kids just weren't able to get some of the courses they wanted because they didn't register for them the first time around. So this is an example of what the registration sheet will look like for students. And they will register themselves. We're going to do that on March 11th and 12th in the classroom. So they're going to open up their student portal and they will be able to plug in the numbers for the courses that they're going to take. So for instance, this example, the student was in algebra. They will already be preloaded for health and fitness and bio and earth science and English. So this student took drawing, Spanish 1, which is a 2-semester course. They also enrolled in Intro to Engineering Design, which is also a 2-semester course. So they will use those course numbers to then register themselves for those electives. Do you need a study hall? I would say about 85% of our current freshmen have a study hall. What we found is that academic rigor is pretty significant in 9th grade. We have a lot of students who get through to September or October and they think things are pretty good, and all of a sudden it gets really, really tough really quickly. And then many of them do wish that they had that extra time during their day to get work done. Sometimes, students can handle the 8 classes of homework, but other times they have so many activities going on after school that they simply don't have the time in their day to get it done. So if you are a student who's involved in football or cross country and volleyball, other sports, if you're in music activities after school, sometimes what we find is that once you hit 9th grade, those activities require way more time, and that limits how much time students have for homework at night. So do you want to do 8 loads of homework, or do you take one off your plate and then also give yourself 45 minutes during the day to get caught up on homework? Sometimes that's a good trade-off. There isn't any reason to rush. Many incoming freshmen want to take everything. You do have plenty of time over 4 years to get the elective courses that you like. So if you can't fit it in at Point, you can also take it at the high school. The study hall is the primary way for us to get you academic help. We have a lot of students who utilize time with teachers during the school day and also time in our Learning Resource Center program, which I'll talk about in a minute. If you don't have a study hall and you're bused and you can't stay after school, you have very limited opportunities to get extra help if you need it. If you are going to take band and choir and you want a foreign language, you probably will not have time for a study hall. And for those students, it typically works out okay because choir and band don't generate a whole lot of homework. But if you are not one of those kids, we do recommend that you take a study hall. Our Learning Resource Center is located across from the library. It is staffed by several adults who work with students in small groups to provide them academic support. We do have some of our 9th grade teachers that rotate into the LRC as well to give students help. We have some students who are typically assigned to the LRC instead of study hall because they need that extra help. But other students are free to drop in to the LRC throughout the day. We have a lot of students who come in to get help with foreign language or with an English paper or with a math test or for whatever reason they need some help with a project. So students can come and go from the LRC throughout the year. Drop-ins are welcome. They're encouraged. We want kids to utilize the resources we have in the LRC. Running through some quick questions that we get a lot at Prairie Point. Driver's Ed is not going to be part of registration. The information about Driver's Ed will be available to parents and students in the spring of your freshman year. This is not part of our current registration process. The REI is sometimes brought up, and the REI is our Regents Admissions Index. It is important if you want to attend Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI. That REI score, that formula, is going to determine whether you get in or not. And so to improve that REI score, you have to have a high GPA and really good assessment scores like the ACT. And to improve your GPA, you must learn good study habits, prepare for tests and projects, turn your stuff in on time, challenge yourself in the classroom. We would also say to take as many core classes as possible to prepare yourself. It's not necessarily something that we spend a lot of time talking about at Prairie Point because college is still a few years away. But the biggest thing that freshmen need to be concerned about is if you think that you're going to go to Iowa, Iowa State, or UNI, it's really important to have that GPA as high as you can get it. So work really hard to develop good study habits and improve that GPA. Summer PE is not available for Point students. It will be an option between your freshman and sophomore school years. I added this slide this year after attending a conference last fall. If you think that you want to play collegiate sports at any of the NCAA schools or the NEIA schools, that's any place that's affiliated with the NCAA, like Iowa, Iowa State, UNI, but even places like Wartburg, Coe, Grinnell. These are all NCAA institutions. Grandview in Des Moines is an NEIA school. These, if you were going to play sports in college, they have a clearinghouse that must deem you eligible to compete. What that means is that they're going to study your transcript and make sure that you have taken the appropriate courses to get into college and to compete in college. This is not really something you have to worry too much about at Prairie Point. When you move over to the high school, it is something that we pay more attention to. You can open a profile page at the NCAA Clearinghouse to start the process. We would prefer that you probably wait and do that as you begin your sophomore year, but if you wanted to start the profile page as a freshman, you could do that. The best thing that you can do now is pay attention to the GPA. Higher the better, obviously. Work on those assessment scores, your MAP tests, your Iowa assessment tests. Get feedback on what your strengths and weaknesses are prior to taking your ACT. And we would tell you to enroll in as many core classes as you can, which would be English, math, science, social studies, and a foreign language. If you have more specific questions about NCAA or NEIA clearinghouse, please give me a call, or you can send me an email as well. So what could freshmen do at Prairie Point to get prepared for post-high school education? We would want you to challenge yourself academically, take what we would consider to be difficult classes to test yourself. We would also say get organized, find something that's going to work for you. That's a pretty important skill. And a lot of students are successful with organizing themselves digitally, but other kids have paper and pencil methods to get themselves organized. However that works best for you, we just need you to find something that's going to work so that you remember to turn your work in on time, that you know where your work is. Those are pretty important skills as you get older. We want you to learn how to study. If you haven't been challenged academically so far in school, you may not have had to learn how to study, but at Prairie Point in the 9th grade, eventually you're probably going to have to learn how to study and spend some time with that. We want you to communicate with your teachers. We want you to advocate for yourself. We want you to learn to ask questions. And if you don't understand something, that you're speaking to the appropriate adults so that you can get the help that you need. We also want you to get involved in activities. A lot of post-secondary institutions, they look for kids that are really involved. It's not always the kid with the 4.0 GPA that gets the scholarship or gets into the school that they want. It's the kid with a good GPA that's also involved in lots of different activities and is able to offer a lot more to a post-secondary institution than just good grades. So what's next for you? We want you to read through those course descriptions in the program of studies. We've sent that out via a digital link. You can also see elective course videos at this web address. Students are going to register online with the counseling staff on March 11th and 12th. They're going to be doing that in language arts classes. I will leave that registration on in the parent portal so that you can view it. So after the students are done, we will keep those registration forms. You'll be able to see those at conferences. If you would like any changes made to your elective course selections, you can email me by May 1st. If you do change your mind over the summer, and this does happen, if you want to, you can send us an email prior to us leaving for the summer, so that, I guess at this point, with the weather we've had, it'll be mid-June. But otherwise, we would ask maybe that you do not email us again until after August. Around that time that registration starts, if you want to make some changes, we will take email requests to make changes at that point in time. So you can contact the Point Counseling Office after August 1st, and the counseling staff will be able to start making some changes. There is a drop add date to start the school year, so that first week of school in August, students can sit in some classes, and if they change their mind that they want to take something else, we will allow them to change for that first week. We will be building the schedules through the spring and summer, but they won't be final until that registration point when you pick up schedules. So my email address is at the bottom, and my phone number is there too. If you have questions, please feel free to call. I'd be happy to help out as best I can. Again, we will be doing registration with the kids on March 11th and 12th.